to the show called Board Game Smorgasbord. I'm Tom Vassell.
That's the one. I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Mike DeLisio.
And we're ready to eat. We're not ready to eat, but I was talking to my wife about the difficulties of the end of this month because Thanksgiving's coming. It's just one meal. That's not a problem. But directly after Thanksgiving is Pax Unplugged.
Yes.
That's gonna. But we do tend to walk a lot at PAX Unplugged, so it should balance out.
We walk a lot, but man, is there good food.
There is.
Oh, man. There's
And then
good
on the
food.
horizon after that, cruising, and I was like, huh.
There's no food on a cruise, though, so you'll be fine there.
The cruise is worse. See, at least with PAX, it's very justifiable. I'm like, I walked 20,000 steps today.
Sure.
On the cruise, I did not walk 20,000. I know you can. There's like a jogging track for insane people. Every time we go to cruise, I'm like, Laura, every morning we're going to wake up, we're going to walk around the ship, and we do.
I just take the long way to the buffet.
That's all it is, yeah.
At the buffet's right there. I walk around the ship to get to it.
I walk around the dessert line 3 times. That way I get, a good...
You justify that tiramisu.
I got a couple things to announce to you all. First of all, we have a contest here. This contest is from Bézier Games. I was just talking to the guys about how popular Cat in a Box is right now, the new trick-taking game from them.
Very popular.
Very popular, but we're here to talk, well, a couple things. Sink and swim here in the background, which is
It's not sink and swim, Tom.
Sink and
you
swim.
can't do both. You got to pick one. You either got to sink or you got to swim.
I sink and swim, actually. I have a hard time floating.
Well, you are a talented man. I don't think I could do
that's
that.
Not very,
nothing to do with talent.
You're not very buoyant. You need to
am not buoyant.
You gotta go to the buffet some more.
That's not how that works.
That's how that works.
I'm eating mostly rocks there. But
Food
anyhow,
makes you float.
Sink or Swim, a cooperative game where you're trying to win together. But you can also win a copy of Werewords. Werewords, which is basically 20 questions with a traitor. With a traitor.
Not
Ooh.
me. It's never me.
No.
No, it's often, this is a nice split. You can play really quick games of this.
Yeah.
It's really fun. You can win a copy of this. The subject line is yes or no. Those 3 words, as you can see down there, you need to email us at contest@dicetower.com. And you need to tell us the answer to this question. What is the maximum number of people who can play in a single game of Werewords Deluxe Edition?
Ooh.
Also, let us know your address so we know where to send it if you thus win. So, that's our contest. Thank you, Bézier Games. Also, we want to tell you that if you have not yet filled out the Pledge Manager for our Kickstarter, you need to do it by tomorrow.
What are you doing?
Got to get on that.
So there is that. Hey, and later today, it's going to be exciting. You can go on Facebook group or you can go on our YouTube channel and see the brackets for the best board game publisher.
I am so psyched about this.
This is gonna be fun.
How confident do you feel? They all picked brackets. We're going to
We
see who...
filled the whole bracket.
Yeah,
right?
we
filled
got
out the whole
a
bracket.
print out, did it ourselves.
This is bringing back the fantasy basketball from my teaching days vibe. So yeah,
We've never done that here because I don't think enough people care.
Right.
It'll be Mike and Mike.
Yeah, but we did it for this, and we're going to use here amongst ourselves at the office, and maybe even at home you might want to play along. We're going to use a very simplified scoring system to see which of us here in the office scores the highest throughout this. I feel pretty good about 2 of my final 4. The other 2 I'm feeling pretty iffy on.
I don't know. I'm worried. I feel pretty good, but then I think back to the last time we did one of these bracket breakdowns,
Right.
And I was way off base starting on the second matchup.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. I have worries.
Yes.
But you might be surprised too. In these, one of the things that sucks about a bracket is when you pick the wrong game at the wrong thing at the beginning, then it just carries all the way
That's
through.
called a bracket buster, basically. Yeah, if you lose
when the one you
like,
pick to be the winner is knocked out first round, I'm like,
you're done.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's a bracket buster right
Bracket buster.
See all these terms we're learning?
I love it.
right.
Bracket buster's my new screen name. Find
Anyway,
me.
welcome to Board Game Smorgasbord. We have a lot of things to talk about today. And first is the news. I just noticed you weren't in that little intro there. Just me and Z looking at the news.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying.
Bye. Why don't you go bust a bracket?
I'm the
somewhere?
one compiling the news.
Oh, that's what it is.
That then gets approved by Tom.
That's what it is.
All right. Well, you know what? I just had the wrong news open, so I'm going to try it again and see if this one works.
There we go. Yeah, get Mike
I'd
out
like
of
to,
there.
while you're doing
get Mike
this,
out of there.
while
Yes.
you're doing this, I'd like to acknowledge and give a shout out to Corey Thompson of Dice Tower Now. A lot of the news that I get comes from Corey. So he's kind of a big part of this as well. So shout out to Corey Thompson.
All right. Thank you, Corey. All right. So first we have from Ravensburger the next big family game.
Interesting logo. Okay.
Yeah, as I say, I'm not sure I like. I don't know what I think about that. The I should not be in big. It shouldn't go above the line.
What is this? Explain it to me.
Okay, this is a contest.
Explain it to me like I'm a moron.
Okay, this is a
Like
contest.
I'm a moron, not like you're a moron.
Sorry. Okay, so what do we have here? It's a contest. The publisher is looking for wannabe game designers out there. So starting November 15th, they're looking for family games. Well, actually, you can do anything you want, but they're specifically looking for, which means do this.
Yeah.
Family games for ages 7 and up, 60-minute play times max. Then they'll ask, I guess you're going to submit the idea. Then
Okay.
Now,
they'll pick some people to send in a prototype.
You've been saying they. Have you?
Ravensburger.
It's
I'm sorry,
Ravensburger, right?
Ravensburger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the jury will pick the best 3 titles.
Okay.
The finalists will run campaigns on GameFound, which, to clarify, is now partially owned by Ravensburger.
Sure.
Or at least they're a big stockholder in it.
Got it.
Or investor in it. And the campaign with the most backers will receive a retail publishing contract from Ravensburger with a minimum 10,000 print run, which is not a small
That's
print run,
no
by the way.
joke. That's actually quite good.
And 10% royalty on net sales.
Which is higher than standard, isn't it?
Eight
about right.
to 10, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know how I feel about this. By the way, it's on ravensburger.de, and just look for the next big family game. What I'm not sure about this is the fact that they want 3 campaigns to be run. And then the one with the most backers.
The most backers is what it is, not the most money, because backers would make more sense.
It says with the most backers.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
I don't know that I love this weird voting with money, if that makes sense.
I get it.
There's going to be an air of desperation from all 3 of these
of course,
campaigns
yeah,
because of this.
There will, and
because it's not like, oh, we reached our funding goal. It's like, we have to be the best.
Yeah,
Yes.
there will be, I would think, campaigning for this as well, and I would expect that.
Right.
I don't know. I guess my thought is if there are 3 legitimately good family weight sub 60-minute games that deserve to be published, then I don't know that I have a huge problem with it. Is this specifically new designers? You know, is Kramer and Kiesling going to pop in here and go, hey, here we go, I got something for you?
I don't
You
think
know what I
so.
mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It might say that in the fine print, but I think at the end of the day, the best way to approach this as a designer is to, if you were going to put something on GameFound anyway that
Right.
fits the category, then you go ahead and apply to this along the way.
I need to know more
You know
about
what I
this
mean?
too.
Because you are running that campaign on your own.
Yeah, that's what
They're
I was
not
gonna-
helping you with that. That's on you.
But-
and then if you happen to be the top one, we'll come knocking on your door. But you got to be comfortable running that thing, assuming you're not getting another print run of 10,000.
But I hate that, actually, that part of it, because not every designer, in fact, most designers, shouldn't run campaigns.
I get that.
That's true. I guess I didn't consider that angle, yeah.
Unless they're being helped, maybe they have someone who can. But
Again, I know that.
I would rather there
from
just
what
be three of these. They pick the winner and then do that one. I mean, I know they're trying to push GameFound.
That's the thing, and it's a little bit of a weird marriage there, because they're like, hey, after you run your campaign and it does very well, the best, then we'll come in and put some more copies out.
Right.
Okay.
They're saying it's going to go to retail. I guess that's the difference, is that, you know, it's a minimum print run of 10, but also it's going into retail. That's a big deal. I mean,
no, it is.
No. I get I think the goal is great. Where I'm running into the thing I'm not so sure on is the way to get to that goal.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
It would suck if 2 people are kind of left high and dry running campaigns. They might have to fulfill those campaigns because you promised it to the backers. Well, I mean, I'm saying if it funds.
Got it.
If it doesn't fund, they don't have to fulfill it. But if it funds, then they have to fulfill it without any support. Not only did you lose, you might lose in a big way.
I'll put it to you this way: I'll be very surprised if all 3 of the competing games don't fund and fund comfortably. I just can't imagine.
Well, I saw when Hasbro ran this, and I was not. Hasbro did almost the same thing, and I was not impressed with those campaigns.
Okay, Hasbro, Ravensburger.
I get it. Well, remember, Ravensburger's not as niche as people think.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Yeah, I don't know. But I think that I don't know what I think. I'm going
Again, you have to just
judgment.
assume if you are interested in this, assume you are just running a campaign.
Yeah.
And again, signing for this along the way because you were going to run a campaign that happens to fit anyway.
Yeah.
And you might get a little gravy on top at the end. You cannot go into this assuming you're getting 10,000 more print copies because you might end up, being in the hole trying to deliver your crowdfunded project.
All right, next we have a really cool looking game called The White Castle.
I love that.
I want to be really clear,
Delicious.
this isn't White Castle, it's The White Castle.
Delicious.
I can smell the onions emanating off of that box.
Ooh, baby, let me get that slider real quick.
This is a sequel from, I believe, the same designers who did Red Cathedral. And so there's a lot of good
Pedigree there, yeah. DeVere and those designers.
Oh, this is convenient based on our subject matter later on in this episode.
It really is. I didn't get in here for that reason. But yeah, this is, I think, a 2023 release. I don't think it's coming imminently, but it's
October 2023,
Yeah,
so it's
so-
a while away.
it's probably still in development for all we know. Who knows? But
Man, I love that cover.
I love that cover. And I wonder if this is going to be, like, are they going to kind of start a little line like this? Red Cathedral, White Castle, Purple Bank. You know what I mean? Just kind of start a little...
Purple Bank. You mean rain, certainly.
Well, but a rain's not a building.
Depends.
The Reign of a King.
The Purple Rain? I don't know. You've got Cathedral, Castle...
I'm on board.
No. Yeah,
This is going to be one of the 3 winning projects.
I like Red Cathedral, unlike Camilla. I like Red Cathedral quite a bit. I think you like it.
I've yet to
too.
try it.
Oh, okay.
No, I have
I
not
like Red
tried it.
You like
Cathedral.
it, right? Yeah.
We really do need to play that expansion.
We do. Yes, we really, really do. Small box, big game. So I'm hoping this is...
Big heart.
Big heart. I'm betting this is going to be like a similar feel. You know, big game in a relatively small box.
I'm looking forward to it. I want to play the other one too, obviously, but this looks great.
Yeah.
All right, our next piece of news that Mike shoved in here.
From Corey. Blame Corey.
Hey Yo won the InnoSpiel Award.
It's a pretty big deal, actually. I think it is. A small publisher, although they're getting larger.
Boink is not that small of a publisher.
Compared to, like,
What
what
is
were
the
they going
InnoSpiel?
against?
What is the
It
InnoSpiel?
explains it right there. Innovation in gaming.
No, from where?
It's the spiel. It's from the.
Oh, it's from obviously Germany. Duh.
Yeah.
Don't assume too much.
It's from the fair, right? It was up against Wonder Book and what else? I can't remember
And
the other.
Echoes. Okay,
Yeah.
well, come on now. It was up against Echoes.
I don't know. I didn't play Echoes, but I mean, it may not be a great game, but is it innovative? I don't know. I haven't played it.
I guess you're listening to sounds.
Yeah.
Wonder Book is innovative in a
Pop-up.
sense that there's a pop-up.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, but I don't know how much beyond that it's innovative.
Right.
But
It does bring up an interesting question, though, of when you award an innovative category to some game, does the game need to be good also or just innovative?
It's a really good question.
You know?
I mean,
How much do you consider, if you're the one awarding something, an innovative category, how good is the game? How much does that play into it? I think it matters tremendously.
I agree.
I don't care if you're innovative, if your game is trash, you know,
Right.
if it's really
I agree, but
unenjoyable.
if it's innovative and the game is merely good, I can still recognize the innovation.
Right, because
Right.
people will build from there.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I like KO. It's the innovation is in the little rhythm part. It's got a little that little thing in the upper right there. You press on it, it does a little beat type of
speaker
a thing, and then
gives
it's
you
I believe I'd like to see a demo of this, Mike.
beep, and then you play cards
That's
cooperatively.
basically, just repeat that
Yeah,
on loop.
that's really what it
and
is.
on the beep, you play a card.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also cool in that you don't have to use that little thing. You can even
Do what he just
put
did.
your own stuff. Yeah. So
You just do that.
You
Right.
hire a local rapper, kid.
Oh, wow.
Come in and hit us. You're like, lay down the beat.
And then you got to give me the one we're going to play. Beep. Here we go. Jeez. I'm over here. You left me holding my
you got to wait
cards.
for the beep.
All right. Also from Oink, a new game coming out called Telecraft. This is
me?
being
Oh,
Craft,
I
sir.
did not hear that. I heard tell a crap. I
a different-
completely heard that.
that's a
Tell a
different game.
crap. A follow up to Hey Yo.
all right. So Telecraft is a joint production from Oink and Geo Games because Geo makes these little mini things that snap together. I've seen.
Oh, you're familiar with them? I'm not. I hadn't heard of them
No,
before.
hang on. I haven't finished my sentence.
Oh.
I've seen things like this.
Okay.
There's a lot of new. Someone's always trying to make the next new building block.
Sure.
Yeah.
This looks like a game that is right up Z's alley. I can imagine you absolutely loving this game.
I couldn't disagree with you more.
Yeah,
Well, maybe if I had somebody slapping the table.
I'm being very sarcastic.
I already don't like this game because of how the way it works is you look at that picture.
Yeah, and then you make the thing.
No, you tell everyone else
How to make
verbally how to make it.
Yeah.
You're listening to someone else's instructions.
Is there a beat as well?
There's a sand timer.
There's a little 2-card expansion combining hey yo.
You can only tell me instructions on the beep. It's round.
All right.
Oh my gosh, that'd be the worst.
That would be rough.
Also, in the same category of putting things together with little pieces, we have, this is coming from Big G. It's called Glyphics.
And it's going into Target.
Okay.
So this is yet another variation, and I'm getting a little tired of these variations of, hey, it's Pictionary, but you're stuck with these pieces.
Yeah.
There are a lot of these games
Definitely
out there.
used to own a game just like this.
Right.
This was a decade at least ago, but it was some mass market game.
Right.
God, I wish I remember what it was called. But yeah, it was you just put pieces. It came with crap in there already with different shapes, and you'd have to build something.
I bet I played the same game, and I also can't remember what it was called.
Squint, maybe?
Oh, Squint, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's from Out of the Box Publishing.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
then they made Squint Jr., which was actually better than Squint because the cards were clear,
Okay.
so you could put them on top of each other. Then Game Right made another game, which was almost the exact same game as Squint Jr.
Squint Senior?
No, it was from Game Right. It's a different company, so they called it something else, which name is escaping me. And then there's other ones where there's, again, you have these different pieces, make a
Same thing.
picture.
Again,
And
I
I think I like these a little bit over a drawing because you might be a good artist, but you may not be good at this.
I agree.
But I found that these games often devolve into everyone going, we have no idea.
Right. There was also that one that used like these things as like partial letters and stuff. Like, remember that? There was like a word game that used these type of things.
Yes,
remember
yes.
That?
That's some of the designers of Cosmic Encounter.
Right. I can't remember what that game was called.
wow.
We played that recently too.
Yeah, this one doesn't look like much to
Also,
me.
it's all yellow.
It's very
You have to
yellow.
like that yellow.
You got to
It's
like
supposed
the
to
yellow.
they should have gone for like a Post-it theme. If this was from Big Potato, it would definitely be themed after Post-its.
That's true. All right.
We need more Post-it
Paul
games.
Lamori and Cosmos have a game called Rustling Leaves.
Say what?
So you played this on an app?
I did, but I also played it in physical form with one esteemed Mike DeLisio.
In the Dusseldorf Airport. It was Dusseldorf Airport,
We
right?
were somewhere.
Yeah. I think it was the Dusseldorf Airport. And we played through this. It's you can talk about
Yeah,
it.
I picked this up at Essen this
Did
year.
a luggage carrier play it with you and you distracted
He
him
got a
from
little
doing
distracted.
his
That's
job?
true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Why?
He was so angry that he stormed away from the table.
We did that.
Someone must have
Okay,
left
I'm
the
sorry,
luggage.
Tom.
If this was a movie, this would be
crush
the
him.
end credit scene.
Yeah, I crushed the guy. I picked up a copy of this in German, though it's language independent, at Essen this year, because as far as I knew, this hadn't come out in English, and it's been out for a couple of years.
Yeah, now it's coming
or
out
maybe
in
a
English.
year. It's been a bit, so I figured, okay, it might not be coming out in English. So I picked it up, I bought a copy, which is, I wanted it, but immediately afterwards they announced, it's coming in English.
It's coming in English,
I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cosmos is doing more stuff in English. That's why they're on our publisher list today.
I also
Found out.
reviewed this already. We reviewed it, right? Didn't we do it together?
Did we do it together?
So you can check that out on the channel and see what it's about. It's a roll and write with a neat couple twists on it.
Yeah, well, season theme.
Beautiful too.
All right. Retrograde.
Retrograde.
This is from Mary Flanagan. Why is that? I know
The name
Mary
is
Flanagan.
super familiar to me.
Mary Flanagan and Max Seidman.
Max von Sydow.
No, I'm
Wow,
looking.
that's a deep cut.
I'm looking at Mary Flanagan because
Yeah, I know
I've
that
seen her
name.
stuff before.
Retrograde.
Mary Flanagan has done. Oh, she did the Monarch and Visitor in Blackwood Grove and Mechanica.
right.
Okay. Oh, is this coming from that same company?
I don't know.
I don't recognize that logo
don't
at the
either.
bottom there, so I'm not sure.
So it's coming out late this year, is that right? December of this year? Or?
Oh, yes. It's from the same company. That
Okay.
Resonim.
Resonant.
okay.
Okay.
We
got it.
just looked at something. Oh, they did Phantom Ink. That's probably the most popular game at
Oh.
this point in time.
Interesting.
I have not been a big fan of theirs. I thought Phantom Ink was solid. I really like that one.
I agree. The rest of their stuff has been,
Yeah.
but yeah, Retrograde.
That is clearly not Space Invaders.
No. This kind of looks like the pinball one a little
Yeah,
bit
but
to me.
in like 40 years, Space Invaders will be public
It'll
domain.
be public domain, yeah. Right now it's legally distinct.
Okay, that box cover is okay.
It's
Hold that and the
Okay.
White Castle cover in your mind, because we're about to look at a box cover that's sad looking, and that is Tiny Epic Crimes. Now, I want to take out here, I've had, I've always said Tiny Epic Games,
Sure.
blah, blah, blah. I like some of them, I don't like some of them. This one, theme-wise, I'm interested a lot.
Right,
I
you like
love
this
the
stuff.
gangster theme.
right.
This cover is the worst cover they've ever done.
I don't think I can disagree with you. I don't know if there's a worse Tiny Epic cover. There's something about this that just looks off to me.
Is it the guy too out of the shot and too close to us, the focal point?
Well,
That
first of all,
Epic doesn't look good.
First of all, the font I think is terrible. I don't like any of those fonts. I think they're those.
Well, I think that Tiny is always the font they use
Tiny's
for all their
always the
designs.
font for Tiny.
I guess, but
And then they changed the other two.
I don't like the.
There's something off about that cover.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not finding it as egregious as you guys are of a bad example, but okay. I don't love the guy being the focal point. I feel like he's pulling focus away from the car chase and
Yeah.
the gangster with the Tommy gun.
I don't think the guy should be on the cover at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He might be better. It might be better served by not having that guy there and just giving me the action shot.
Yeah,
I wonder
Tiny.
why they call it Tiny Epic Crimes and not Tiny Epic Gangsters. Because crimes, Tiny Epic Crimes, it just sounds
Epic
weird.
Crimes is Tiny Epic Crimes is not a great.
It's also not a great title. Yeah. No, the cover's not drawing me in. The theme is fine. I'm interested in that theme. I hope it's good.
Well, let me give you some more info.
Okay, here we go.
This is a deductive game for
Okay.
1 to 4 players that can be played competitively, cooperatively, or solo. That's
Okay.
another knock
I'm
against
in so
it.
far. I love it.
He has done
What
that
else
in
does it do?
he's done that in this line though. Zombies was the same way, and I think I don't think you could. I don't remember.
Was
if
Zombies
Dyn-
competitive and cooperative?
Yeah, I think you
Which
could
way
play it
did you
either
play?
way. I played it solo and competitive and competitive actually.
Yes. Okay, I was going to say, well,
Yeah. I'm not positive.
the
about
Tiny
that.
Epic Crimes uses the Tiny Epic decoder system.
Which is a little,
There's a
the
red.
yeah.
What do you call that?
Yeah, the red thing that you slide behind
red-
and then you
the
can see
red
words or
plastic
whatever.
thing.
Captain Crunch decoder ring.
the
I mean, I'm
decoder.
sorry. Do we still get away with calling it a special name and it's that same crap from 40 years ago?
They did it in Nemesis too.
I know, but come on,
Isn't that
guys. You
older
no
than 40
longer.
years?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to call a moratorium on this. You no longer get to say you have a special whatever TM, and it's a piece of
Red plastic.
red. A red gel. I'm sorry, and you put it over something, and it eliminates the red, so you can read. No, you don't get to call that a special thing anymore. We've had that forever now.
Yeah, I almost wonder though. It is so old that maybe it's just toying into nostalgia. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, remember when you were a kid and you did this stuff?
I'm just saying we need a name for that
Yeah,
thing, so
yeah.
people stop being like the Super Dakota 3000. Like it's a red piece. No.
We'll call it the
Yes. Anyhow,
Z-Vision.
this may be an exciting game. We'll see. It's coming to Kickstarter later this month, and we'll know more information about it.
It will do well. They all do well.
They all do well. So there's that. All right. This is the 13th one, by the way.
Oh wow.
What?
Okay.
Living Forest, which was the Kenner Spiel winner, is getting an expansion with some really cool looking things that stepped out of a Princess Mononoke.
He is Groot.
Yeah, they're the Kodama. I think that what this is that now it gives you more ways to use the flowers.
I
believe-
vaguely remember the
yeah,
game.
Yes. Yes, the flowers.
I'm telling
of
you,
course,
man.
the flowers.
I don't recall the game that well.
Yeah, you flip over the cards.
This game
I
is
remember
definitely.
that. I
Oh,
remember
you're right.
push
You're right.
your
You're buying a. Wow, this game is super forgettable.
Yeah,
There were
you've
like
got
3 different ways to
fire.
win.
Right, you got the fire.
That's it.
It was a deck building game. You're always
buildings.
stopping the fire.
Right.
It had a veil kind of thing with you pushing your luck and
Yeah,
keeping.
that was my favorite part of the game. Was that push your luck kind of card
Yeah.
thing.
All right. Bananagrams is. It says to celebrate their 15th anniversary. I was under the assumption that Bananagrams was like 50 years old. No, I mean, seriously. I just thought it's been around longer than 15 years.
I love how finally it's turning brown.
Yeah. banana, yeah. It held up as long as it could. Now it's turning brown.
It's going to be like really ugly. Like they'll have a black banana, in 10 years.
Covered in spots.
Anyway, this just has
yeah,
deluxe components and special packaging for their 15th anniversary.
That special packaging.
I love that. I know. I love that insert.
That is hilarious.
That is fantastic insert.
If I review this game, remind me when I open the box, have a real banana inside there.
That would be fantastic.
So,
A real
all right.
brown one.
Tragedy Looper. So Tragedy Looper, it says jumps to Whiz Kids, but that's not really a surprise since Zev was the one who originally found this game when he ran Z-Man Games. And Z-Man Games now by Asmodee is not going to release and this is a very esoteric game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Z-Man's not going to publish that, but Whiz Kids will. This is one of those games that I just never got around to playing. I've watched it play.
Really?
Yeah.
It came out.
Me neither.
I heard that it is definitely, the learning curve in this one is extremely steep. And it really helps to play with somebody
Who knows the
who
game.
knows the game and is running it. And essentially this is a Groundhog Day style thing where you are looping, something bad is happening and you are trying to solve it, but the person running the game does not want that to happen.
Right.
You've played it?
Yeah. Yeah, I hated it. I mean, I really, really hated it. But again, I think it's probably some people's favorite game because it is so esoteric. It is so weird and outside of the box.
This is a new one.
I'm hoping they cleaned it up.
I hope they clean up the rule book because I went through that rule book and it was like, whoa. But this is a standalone. You don't need the original one. Has 13 scripts and 30 characters. It says including new material never before released in an English edition, which makes me sound like it has some of the stuff from the original edition in it.
Probably.
Yeah, it could be.
All right.
Yeah, that one's been out of print for so long.
Right.
And our last bit of news here comes from Fantasy Flight Games. Actually, is it Fantasy Flight?
No, it's, what are they called now?
Atomic Mass.
Atomic Mass, yeah.
Why is I am so confused.
Wait, Atomic Mass is the
Atomic Mass is
company
the
that...
miniature company.
Yeah, this is a miniatures game. It's a miniature skirmish game.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not talking about the deck builder.
No. Oh, I thought we had talked about the deck builder already.
I don't think we did, actually.
Oh, all right.
Fantasy Flight is
We
coming-
talked about
did.
when it was
We
announced, but they've
did.
released a lot more information on
Whatever.
it.
They're coming out with a deck building game in Star Wars.
Right,
That's
exactly.
Fantasy Flight.
Yeah. Now-
Atomic Mass took over miniatures games from Fantasy Flight Games. They took
like
over this
X-Wing
Marvel one
and,
the X-Wing one,
the
right?
Crisis Protocol.
That's the Marvel one, right? And so now they've got this Star Wars Shatterpoint.
Yes.
Okay, I'm actually interested in this, but there's going to be one thing that will make me drop out like nothing else.
You got to build those
Screen
minis,
caps.
baby.
You do?
I'm pretty sure you do.
Well, I'm just reading the thing here, and it says they have. Well, it said something about the miniatures in it. It said the miniatures were.
On screws.
Included.
No, dynamic miniature sculpts.
Oh, that means you can
Roy
pop
is
parts out.
saying
and-
yes. Like, so these are on sprues?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I mean, there are other games.
Roy is
Crisis
pretty
Protocol. The Crisis
Well,
Protocol.
Crisis Protocol is definitely that way, and if this is like Crisis Protocol, I'm out from the get-go. I'm sure Crisis Protocol's a fine game, although also the sheets of Crisis Protocol looks like everything I'm not interested in.
Right.
I have to build the miniatures, I have to paint the miniatures, and then the game itself is not a simple game.
No.
Although I want to play it because it lets you take Hulk and fight against
and pick up
Iceman and
pick
stuff
up
like
a
that.
bus and throw it at somebody. Yeah.
Oh, it looks so much fun, but I just,
Hoping that this one is lighter than that. The look certainly leads me to believe that this is going to be a little more fast-paced, that this is going to be a little lighter, but Roy's over there shaking his head vigorously.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Vigorously.
He's telling you to put your hopes and dreams
so the
in the
Roadie
trash
is
can.
a skirmish game from Fantasy Flight. It's actually Star Wars.
Legion, yeah.
No, that's not tactical skirmish. That's
Oh.
That's Army versus Army.
That's like
no,
wide scale.
the one that was Descent.
Oh, Imperial Assault?
Imperial Assault
Yeah.
had 2 modes in it.
Yeah.
One of them was a skirmish.
That's
Any
true.
character you bought for Imperial Assault had a little point, and you could take a few of them and fight someone else. It was very light. I actually liked it a lot. This is replacing that. I like the cover of this.
No, it's going for the animated series, obviously, look, and that's very
That actually
popular.
looks better than the animated
Yeah,
series.
the animated series is CGI, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it kind of has that
looks,
vibe, doesn't it?
This looks hand-drawn. It looks fantastic. But, again, I'm hoping that it's something more approachable than, but I also am not a miniatures gamer, so I
If
couldn't
the
care
miniatures are
less.
pre-built, I'll buy it, even if they're not painted.
What if you don't have to put them together, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, or somebody else
actually-
has to put them together for you.
No, I don't want to do that then.
As stupid as it sounds, I actually kind of like the name, too, because I'm guessing that is a mechanical thing, that there's a shatter point that happens. I like that. I don't
It
know.
was a
It makes
book.
me intrigued. Oh, then
According to
I hate
what it
everything
says
about
here.
it. I retract my statement.
It was Mace
I hate
Windu
it.
themed.
I love it again.
I don't see him on the cover though.
I hate it
No,
again.
no, he's a hidden character.
There's definitely a lot of Mandalorians there.
I love it again.
That is the news.
That is the way.
I'm Joey.
And I'm Alex.
And we're back with a segment of Shelf Storage or Sell. This is where we grab a game off the shelf instead of off the press and decide if it needs to stay in our collection.
Yeah, we look back at, not a newer game per se, but a game that's been out for a little while and figure out what we should do with it.
Yeah, because the biggest problem is as new games come in, you don't want to get rid of those old games.
Yeah.
There may be games that you like. Every time you get rid of a game, it's not because you hate that game. It's for various reasons.
Maybe a game that has come out that does that game a little better. So you have to get rid of that older game.
Right. So this week we're having a game that I did not think would be hitting this segment. And we're debating on King of Tokyo. Now, I love this game and you love this game.
Me too. I feel like King of Tokyo is one of the best gateway games and games for people, your friends that hear you play board games and they want to play a game with you. I feel like King of Tokyo is the game to play with them. It's such a great game.
And I feel the same way. I love King of Tokyo.
Yeah.
But it was replaced recently with King of Tokyo Dark Edition.
Yeah.
And the biggest mechanic this one has that got me thinking, wow, this is it, is the Wicked track.
I do really like that Wicked track.
Because the Wicked track, King of Tokyo, the one downside of this was always for me, if you roll 3 ones, then if you keep that, you get 1 point.
Yeah.
And an extra 4th die, you'll get a 2nd point. And it's almost not worth it to go with that. The Wicked track gives an element of advancing even if you do get that.
It does certainly fix that problem a lot. But I do feel like that one of the pluses for the base game is that we got all the monsters that came out, all
Right.
the promos. We also 3D printed some storage solutions for it so it all fit in the box. We've got like an investment in that base game. And so it's hard to get rid of it when you've put so much time in it. So for me, I was definitely always leaning towards that base game.
And that's the thing. We even have the evolution cards,
Yeah.
things like that. But that
Yeah.
Wicked track added so much for me, I didn't ever see the base game hitting the table.
Yeah.
So I was looking at getting rid of King of Tokyo.
I was not. For me, it was always on the shelf.
But the big thing that saved it for me is Aiello just announced a micro expansion that's even more wicked.
And it's going to be a 22 release, which has got, 6 weeks to make that happen, according to BGG, but maybe it'll be in early 23.
And for me, that right there saved King of Tokyo, the basic edition.
I'm glad. We can keep it on our shelf.
It added a wicked track, and you get to keep everything you ever made for that.
Yay, I'm so glad.
So for us, these, I think, are both going to stay on our shelf.
I think they are. They both are great games. I really like it. I feel like the base game for me just has a little bit more sentimental value, so it's always going to stay, but I'm so glad they came out with that new expansion and it saved it on the shelf for you.
Yeah, but now I'm going to reverse my thoughts and wonder if King of Tokyo Dark is going to stay or not.
Well, stay tuned. Maybe we'll do this video again about Dark in a few weeks.
But as of now, King of Tokyo is going to stay. Waiting for that micro expansion, even more wicked. It saved its life.
Phew.
Whoo. All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
We're back to food.
Yeah, baby! We can't quit you, food.
You had me at.
What's the word? No, I don't actually. I don't want to. Don't bring that back up again. Okay, sorry. I think it's funny when you're trying not to eat food. You think about it
Constant.
so
Would you
much
please
more.
toss that over the edge?
Australia.
Cool, toss.
We
it.
were right. Boom.
All right. Anyhow, we're talking about our top 3 favorite ice cream flavors. Now, my favorite ice cream flavor,
Yeah.
which I'm not putting on the list here.
You missed the whole point of
blew
this.
it.
No. I like going to one of those places and saying, I want that, that, and that mixed in my ice cream. Cold Stone, whatever.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Not ice cream, like some cheesecake and some
brownie bits or whatever.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to eat
But the ice cream flavor is not that you're doing that too isn't necessarily your favorite flavor. It's just a good base for those things.
Sure, I pick whatever.
My number one, I don't want to mix anything into it. I like
I don't want to mix anything into these. I pick pre-made flavors. I'm saying, but my favorite is making my own flavor up.
Yeah.
But I can't go to the store and buy that.
Yeah, this
Tommy's Menagerie.
I went a bit outside of the box with this category. I take ice cream very seriously.
Nah, I take it
very seriously.
I take it more seriously than Mike, so I don't know what he's talking about.
I doubt that very highly, sir.
Do you have an ice cream bar? I do.
I own an ice cream bar.
You do not.
It's in the fridge. He has 6 of them, little ice cream bars.
I don't know if you knew this, but I was known as Ben throughout high school, and then Jerry in middle school. So I named a store called Ben and Jerry's.
Anyhow.
Never heard of it.
No, a lot of people have.
Wait,
a lot of
stop.
people have
We're
a
not
mini-
going to just fly over the fact that you own an ice cream bar. Okay?
No, I'm saying a lot of people have mini bars in their house.
Right.
I have an ice cream one.
What is an ice cream bar?
I
It's
have
got toppings, right?
like 60 different toppings.
Yeah.
That little mini fridge that we used to keep all our drinks in is full of chocolate syrups and other syrups and fudges and
That's a fridge. It's a mini fridge. It's not an ice cream bar.
It's an ice cream bar.
I would posit, though, Tom, that this shows that you are not as serious about ice cream as I am, because all you're trying to do is mask the pure deliciousness of the ice cream.
There we go.
With all of these toppings and
That's the thing. You like
ingredients.
sushi, but it just tastes like wasabi.
Bologna, all that stuff. We use only vanilla to put this stuff on.
Are you a strong enough ice cream fan that you've actually eaten a bologna flavored ice cream like I have? That's here in Miami.
Is that
by
a
the way.
flex?
That's a flex. That's a flex. You brought
Well,
up
you
bologna.
can. You should flex
I
while you
ate
can. Keep eating bologna
I
ice cream.
ate
See what happens.
a bologna
You're done flexing.
flavored ice cream.
Okay? Your heart is done beating.
It was at Salt and Spoon.
Where is it?
I just
It's
was
in
the address.
Coconut Grove.
I was just looking to find the names of the flavors I like.
Salt.
And there's a flavor everything bagel.
And
yeah,
spoon.
that's Jenny's, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried it.
Don't
but
be
it's a cream.
spoiling what I'm looking at for my stuff
Salt
here.
and spoon. Done. I'm there.
It was a
I'm going to take a long lunch today.
It was a limited flavor. It was a bologna sandwich ice cream.
That sounds disgusting.
It
We should
sounded
get to
terrible.
it. We should get to it.
I only took a taste right
All
now.
right, Mike, go ahead.
Your number 3.
My number 3, and again, I told you, these are very specific and outside the
I
box.
offer fairly specific things too.
My number 3 is something that is very local to us. Mm-hmm. It is a shake.
Bologna.
It is a shake.
It's not ice cream.
It's ice cream, baby.
I don't think he understood the list. It's a how do you mess
You
up a
put a
top
Robert
3?
is here shake in there.
My
That is
number
not ice
3
cream.
is Robert is here, mamey and guanabana or soursop shake. Yes.
A shake is not ice cream.
What is the main ingredient of a shake, sir?
Yeah, it's
Ice cream.
Sure, but that's not ice cream.
It is ice cream.
No, that's like me saying, "What's my favorite sandwich?" And I'm like, sesame seeds.
That's not what that's saying at all.
Yes, it is. I mean, ice cream is now gone and has become a shake.
Ice cream has been blended with delicious flavors to become
I
something.
don't know. If I said, what's your favorite cheese? And you said pizza, I'd be like, and you're like, well, there's cheese on pizza.
Nah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now, I will give this. Mike is right. I mean, his flavorings are wrong.
No, those are
But
fantastic flavors.
if you come to Homestead, you go to this place called Robert is Here. They have the best shakes on earth.
They are, yeah.
What ice cream do they put in that?
They put in a vanilla soft serve ice
Are you
cream.
sure
So
they don't
vanilla
put in
then
cream?
is your number 3.
Are you sure they don't put in cream?
They put in some milk.
Do they even put ice cream in it at all? You don't even know.
No, I've seen them. The ice cream machines are right there.
He snuck in various times.
Yes, that's
He
correct.
really takes his ice cream seriously.
I own Robert is Here.
So vanilla is your number 3. Got it.
Actually, but if I'm choosing a base for an ice cream,
Vanilla.
it's going to be vanilla over chocolate every time.
Of course.
Every time?
Every time.
No.
It could be a chocolate flavored shake, and I want the base to be
ice
vanilla.
cream. That's correct.
Some places do that, you know.
They should. Okay, chocolate. I'm not putting
A
chocolate.
shake
on my-
is ice cream. Thank you.
No. Next you'll be
Thank
saying
you.
a hot dog.
But Sharon
is-
said she thought the shakes were made from iced milk.
She's incorrect.
All right, my number 3.
Yeah, banned.
Ben
What's yours going to be?
shared.
Sherbet?
My number 3 is an actual ice cream. But it is made from something else, of course, and it is green tea ice cream. Green tea
Like a
ice
matcha?
cream. Like matcha green
Okay.
tea ice cream. It is lovely. It is very mild. It's a very mild ice cream.
It is mild.
It does not sort of overwhelm me with sweetness. It does not taste fake to me, no matter how they make it.
Yeah.
If it's good green tea or bad green tea ice cream, depending on where it came from, it always manages to not feel syrupy or fake or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some ice creams you have, and you're like, this clearly is good ice cream, and I can, I'll have a little bit and I'm satisfied, or I'll have a lot and I feel good still. Some ice cream is just bad. You're tasting, you're like, wow, I can taste the chemicals.
Yeah.
Or, a couple of spoons, and you're like, it's too sweet. I can't deal with this.
No, I can't. You had me up
The
until
matcha green tea always manages to be flavorful again, but not overwhelming. I feel good after having some matcha green tea ice cream.
Well, let me
I
ask
will
you.
not get it. I've been to restaurants where that's pretty much the only option. I just won't get ice cream
Oh,
then.
it's so good.
I
Let me
don't
ask
like
you
it.
a follow-up question, Z.
Yes.
Have you had much matcha mochi?
I have, yeah.
You
Your
like that
thoughts?
too?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I
You're
do.
a matcha mochi maven then.
I wouldn't know if I would say I'm a
Macho
matcha
man.
Matcha
mochi
maven.
maven.
Mochi.
Hey, I'm matcha. I like it. I like it a lot.
That's
So
a
there we
bold
go.
choice,
So
Z.
apparently there is a Trader Joe's green tea ice cream, which I've
mochi
not
green
had,
tea ice cream is
and
good.
it's going on the list.
Actually, I was thinking about going to Trader Joe's this weekend.
Hook it up with some.
I'm not getting no green ice cream. Okay, my number 3 is the most generic of my ice cream flavors because
Not more generic than vanilla in a shake, which is it's ice cream that's gone.
Mamey and soursop.
Yeah, whatever.
But I like this, and I like it vanilla or chocolate. But my number 3 is cookie dough. I love cookie dough ice cream, and it's pretty basic. I don't know when it started. It definitely wasn't around when I was a kid.
Yeah.
In fact, if I remember, there was a bit of a thing of like a kick against eating cookie dough. You remember
Well,
that?
because it used to have eggs, and
Yeah, whatever.
Now they'll try to produce it in such a way that you can eat it without.
Didn't every kid eat the cookie
Of course
dough
they
with
did.
the
Before
eggs
it was
in?
cooked,
I was
yeah.
always a little
Of course they
confused
did.
as to why you could do that.
Oh,
But
it's good for you.
Anyway,
I've seen Rocky. It's fine.
cookie dough is it's just pure good ice cream. I like
Cookie
it.
dough is great, although if you put it in chocolate ice cream, it ceases to become cookie dough.
What is it then?
It's Rocky Road.
I don't think you know
just
what
making
Rocky-
that up.
Wait, I don't understand. Again,
You do not have
I
an
can
ice
see
cream
how
bar.
you could like vanilla better than chocolate, but chocolate cookie dough is still good.
I'm sure it's fine. I would.
Do you not like chocolate cookies?
Make no mistake. If you give
I
me
get
a
you don't like
gallon of
chocolate.
chocolate ice cream, I'm going to eat a gallon of chocolate ice cream, but it's not my choice.
Let's test this
I
out.
would prefer.
Tomorrow we'll put on this test, but that Mike will wait till it turns into a chocolate milkshake.
Well, here's what.
Right?
Let me
And then
give you.
he'll add some mamey in there.
Let me give
mix
you a
it up.
better example. You give me a gallon or a half gallon of Neapolitan ice cream.
Right.
I'm going to eat the strawberry first.
Okay.
Then I'm going to eat the vanilla.
Okay.
But I will eat the chocolate.
Okay.
Okay, no,
yeah,
this
we're
works
on
then.
the same page, Mike. We
this
are
works.
very much
You
on
and
the
I
same
can do a
page.
lady and tramp type thing because I'll start in the chocolate.
I love that idea.
There we
I
go.
will eat the strawberry and the vanilla in the time it takes you
Do
to eat
they
the chocolate.
always organize those three
I don't think
flavors
you know how
in the
fast I
same
eat.
order in
That's
Neapolitan?
a good question.
Are they always in the same order?
Oh my word! What's your number 2?
It's important because if you start on the chocolate, but if it's in the middle,
Right.
you're all up in my face.
There's a similar question with the Italian cousin of Neapolitan, which is spumoni. You know, which
Heard of
order do
them,
they
yeah.
do that? The pistachio. Anyway, my number 2 is a Ben & Jerry's flavor, and it's a very basic one. Actually, it's not one of their real crazy.
Hulk burning love or whatever that one was called. The one chunk of hunk. What
Oh,
was the
Chunky
one-
Monkey? No, it's not Chunky
No,
Monkey. I'm
I'm
not.
talking about the one from the end game. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that's not a real thing, Tom.
My number 2 is Ben & Jerry's peanut butter cup ice cream. I'm a huge fan of Reese's peanut butter cups or something like those
Okay.
in a vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
And their vanilla base, Ben & Jerry's vanilla base is, as far as like stuff you can get in many places, is one of the best, I believe. They have a very good vanilla base. Even they have a French vanilla base, a regular vanilla base, are all good. And they have, usually when something is a peanut butter cup, but it's not specifically Reese's, it's not as good. I don't remember if Ben & Jerry's, I think they use Reese's. I can't remember. It's
Are you
really
sure?
good.
Because I thought Breyers used
I'm not
Reese's, but I
sure.
might be wrong.
I just
Reese's
know-
gets around.
Yeah. I just know that
Reese's Pieces.
There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. That's what I know from their commercials.
There's only
true.
one right way, though.
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Huh?
Well, and this is the other
layers,
crucial
like this in
element of
layers.
Ben & Jerry's peanut butter cup is that the pieces of peanut butter cup in there are massive. Like sometimes you'll get almost a full peanut butter cup in there. And a lot of times
a full peanut butter cup.
it's
Come
pretty
on
close
now.
sometimes. And a lot of times when you get like a peanut butter cup ice cream, it's like little like speckles of peanut butter dust.
Peanut
this
butter
is like
leavings.
a legit peanut butter cup where you're eating like a nice substantial chew of peanut butter cup that is frozen, and we all know that frozen peanut butter cups are delectable.
It is.
So,
especially in a shake.
You know what's killing me? You know our freezer's full of them.
I'm aware. I'm trying to forget that. Because
I forget it. Every time I open the freezer, I'm like, oh, I forgot these are in here.
Right, and then Camilla brings in white chocolate Reese's Ghosts yesterday, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you trying to
White
kill
chocolate
me?
Reese's are not as good as.
No, those were
They're fantastic.
Good. That's my
They're
number 2,
fantastic.
in fact. My number 2 is just the White Ghosts Reese's. It's not even ice cream. I'm sorry. They're that good, okay? I'm not going to admit to having eaten a truckload yesterday, but I might have. Now, my number 2, what is my number 2, guys? My number 2 is going to be, oh, yes, a tropical delight.
Oh.
A really, really wonderful, creamy, delicious ice cream. I think I've had my preferred brand is the Haagen-Dazs.
Okay.
And it's a mango ice cream. It's extremely smooth and creamy. It is refreshing. It is delectable. Again, not too sweet.
Mango ice cream?
Mango ice cream.
'Cause I like mango sorbet a lot.
That's good too.
I had a really good mango ice cream in Vegas, believe it or not. I
That
can't
was
remember.
sorbet, wasn't it?
No, it was ice cream.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mango ice cream is wonderful. It is just, again, everything you want from ice cream, or everything I want. It's refreshing. It tastes great. I can have enough and not feel kind of, have a bit and not feel heavy, or have a lot and not feel sweetened out. I love it. It's fantastic. And again, just that little pint from Haagen-Dazs, that'll hit the spot every time.
I didn't know that Haagen-Dazs made a mango. That's
I
interesting.
believe it's Haagen-Dazs,
Okay.
yeah. Because I know my number 1 is also the Haagen-Dazs is one of the ways I can find it. It's a little tricky to find. And I think the mango is theirs too, so very good. Very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, objectively, the best place to buy ice cream on earth is from Jenny's Ice Cream. We were introduced to Jenny's Ice Cream when we went to the Origins convention. It's there in the Columbus area, and happily, in the past several years, you can now buy it in grocery stores here in Florida.
For $9 a pint. It's worth every penny.
You know what, though?
It's
also,
worth every penny.
I was just saying, it doesn't matter to me because if you go out and buy like a scoop at a fancy restaurant,
Sure.
I mean, at the ice cream parlor, you're paying the same amount.
You are, yeah.
So, and also I always buy I'm like, kids, here's your vanilla ice cream. Jenny's.
Yeah, right.
So my number 2 is Cinnamon Skillet, which is essentially a Cinnabon flavored ice cream.
Cinnamon skillet?
Yes.
like a cast iron skillet cinnamon roll in, so you can make cinnamon
a
rolls.
thing?
Yeah, and they're amazing.
It is so good, that one. I like cinnamon. I don't want to be like murdered by cinnamon. You get too much, like the red hot, those little red hots. Like you can get like cinnamon.
Yeah.
This is just enough with the vanilla ice cream and then
It's
just a bit of it.
It's actually a cream cheese ice cream, sir.
Is it?
Yeah, you revoke your ice cream card.
I don't care what it is. I like it.
It's delicious.
You've had it.
I think it's Mike's number 1 with the face he made.
Oh, well then let's go to
There's
number
a lot
1.
of ice creams in the world. I mean, I don't think we're going to cross over.
But
on
I
this
bought
list.
it one time as a
saying
lark
it's
because
just
my favorite, which will be coming up in a second, wasn't available, and I bought it, and I was like, holy cow, it was really good. Anyway, Cinnamon Skillet. Mike.
All right. My number 1.
It's cinnamon skillet.
Really?
Jenny's
All day.
Skillet cinnamon roll.
We should play poker
I
sometime.
didn't think there'd be a crossover on this list.
Jenny's
That's amazing.
Skillet cinnamon
See,
roll.
now you got to try it.
I
That's
guess
good.
let me
it goes on the
read-
list. Hold on. Jenny's. It goes right here next to Salt and Spoon.
And this is one that
Jenny's.
is available in a pint, by the way. I
sure.
know that for fact because
Cinnamon.
there may be several in my. There's not. There's not several in my.
I
freezer,
made the
but-
mistake, though, of buying another one, and then I'm like, should have got the Cinnamon Skillet.
See, now I'll be honest with you.
That's
I
Omelet,
could have filled my
hash
3
browns.
with Jenny's flavors, and I chose not to because their Brambleberry Crisp is amazing too. Their ooey gooey butter cake is amazing, but I picked Skillet cinnamon roll because I love that flavor profile. Let's read it for you.
Okay.
Dark caramel,
I'm good.
not just caramel.
Yeah, dark.
Dark caramel.
I like
Caramel
that.
makes any ice cream amazing.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
Cream cheese. That's the cream cheese flavored ice cream. Which
I have a complex relationship with cream
I
cheese,
do too,
but okay.
actually.
but
I do
okay.
too. Pastry
Okay, sure. That's nice and generic.
and cinnamon. Lots of it. But
And
not
every
too much.
bite of it is
You
just
get it all in every
amazing.
bite. It is fantastic. Jenny me.
Jenny me. Is what you
Jenny
just
me. Jenny me some skillet cinnamon roll right now.
said. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, Jenny.
All right.
8675309.
All right. What do you got, Z?
My number 1.
Green tea and mango.
Yeah, so
Cream
he's been
tea.
doing some weird stuff. I know you don't like coffee, so you wouldn't have come with a coffee.
I do
wonder-
like coffee.
Oh, you do?
I like coffee flavored things.
Oh, okay.
And I
okay.
like cold coffee.
Is this your number one?
No,
Is the
it's
coffee?
not.
Okay.
It's
It's
not.
going to be like a hazelnut or something like that.
Coffee's top 5 though. For
Really?
me.
Yeah.
I considered it.
I don't like coffee.
My
ice cream.
issue with coffee
My,
ice
not,
cream.
my next 2 are probably coffee and butterscotch.
Wow.
Oh, butterscotch is good though.
My issue with coffee ice creams is that the disparity between good and terrible
tremendous.
is huge.
I
A
agree.
good coffee ice cream is about as good as you can get.
I agree.
A bad coffee ice cream doesn't even
Is
taste
this a single flavored ice cream like your first 2 were? Like
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's a thing that is commonly available. It's not super common.
No, but I mean like both your ice creams have nothing in them other than the flavor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, he's a purist. That's
it
I respect
strawberry?
it.
No.
No, it's because he says it's a little
It's
hard
slightly
to get.
more complex than like one single thing, but it is a commonly available ice cream.
Cookies and cream.
No.
It's going to be something a little more esoteric.
A little bit. I think of, again, I think
Dulce
of,
de leche?
that's a good guess, but
that's
no,
a good
no,
flavor,
but it does
man.
have a little bit to do with my heritage.
Okay.
It's rum
Cuban
raisin.
sandwich.
Oh, I knew this. I knew
that's
this.
true.
You
always
guys knew this,
You always
too.
get rum raisin.
You
I
guys
said-
all
yeah.
both knew this, okay? I feel betrayed. I am owed ice cream to make up for your clear
I already said I'm getting you guys
oversight.
pizza. Come on now, we
Okay,
can't.
pizza and ice cream. Let's discuss. Rum raisin is my favorite ice cream flavor. If they have it anywhere I go to, unless there's something so esoteric I've never heard of,
Right.
and I'm tempted by, I will get the rum raisin. It's a nice
Cuban sandwich ice cream.
Cuban sandwich ice cream. I'd
Terrible.
try it. Okay, if Mike had bologna.
Pickle, mustard, Swiss cheese. That's a delicious flavor profile.
Let me get off that.
That's the ice cream.
A midnight sandwich ice cream. That's
Ooh.
what it is. Yeah. No, rum raisin is fantastic. I love it. And again, there is some good rum raisin
Yeah.
and bad rum raisin. Not as much. The disparity isn't as big as with coffee. You're right. But good rum raisin.
Have you
Incredibly
have you
good.
ever actually poured a little bit of real rum over your rum raisin?
I
ice
haven't. No, and that's
might wanna
probably
get
very
on that.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I have not done that. I'm not normally somewhere where I also have access to rum, I guess,
Sure,
and I've never
well.
really thought to do it. But yeah, I just really enjoy rum raisin as an ice cream. It's again everything I've said about all the other ones, with a little more complexity there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very mature flavor. I think of rum raisin as like what your grandfather would eat.
I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe
for
you're
sure.
right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, my number 1 has already been mentioned.
It's one of the Jenny's flavors.
It's based on a dessert I didn't know existed till I went to St. Louis and had it for the first time.
Yeah, that is a great flavor. This is
and
so
that
good.
is gooey,
gooey butter cake.
butter cake. Yeah. Now, I never even heard of gooey butter cake. I went to St. Louis and some wonderful fan brought it to me and she said, "This is," and I looked at it, I was like, just looked like some plain like cake. And then I ate a bite of it, and I'm ashamed to say I ate the entire thing, like a whole cake.
Butter cake.
So good.
I don't know how to explain it. It's so good. But the ice cream is better than the dessert.
Yeah.
The
That's a
gooey butter
Jenny's?
cake,
That's a
oh my
Jenny's
word,
flavor,
it's so
yeah.
All
good.
right, here we go. Goes on the list. What's
Also
it called?
available in pints.
All right, I guess I should. Mike did the flavors on his. Did you go home and read the label on the
No,
one you have?
I went
Gooey.
here. If you go to Jenny's site, they just
Butter.
yeah, right here. They'll explain.
Where is that? Gooey butter
Cake.
cake. Cream cheese ice cream layer with crumbles of vanilla cake and swirl of caramel butterscotch sauce. And that caramel
really
butterscotch
good.
sauce is amazing. Although, when I went to this site, there's a couple flavors here I have not had.
They've got some seasonal flavors
Right,
I've never even
so
heard
this-
of.
White chocolate peppermint sounds a little interesting.
Ooh,
but-
boozy eggnog.
Yeah.
But this
I'll try
cranberry crumble sounds. Oh, it has walnuts. Maybe not.
Oh, I do not like walnuts. I'm out.
What about this High Five candy bar?
I love High Five. That's a Reese's
But Jenny's
product.
makes a lot of good ones. I like their buttercream birthday cake.
Ooh,
This one,
watermelon taffy I would try.
this powdered jelly donut.
It's also very good.
Have you had that?
Very
Oh,
good.
that
I have not had that
Yes,
one yet.
That's
That
very
sounds
good.
awful.
And their Brambleberry Crisp is delicious. too.
That is good. I just didn't like it as much as the other two I mentioned, and I didn't want to make all three
They
Jennies.
also have a sweet cream.
Oh, and biscuits. You're right.
Yeah, the sweet cream biscuits and, and
That
peaches.
is also good.
Yeah.
Are we? What are the odds of us calling up Jenny and getting sponsored?
Let's do it.
If anyone from Jenny's is watching,
They
we'll
have-
gladly take
I
sponsorship.
found out just this morning in doing a little bit of research.
We'll
which
do it
is,
for ice cream.
This is a little bit scary because I was looking on my computer at Ice Cream Flavors from Jenny, and then on my phone in Facebook, there's apparently a Pint of the Month club you can do with them.
Oh, gee.
No. Wait, is it just 1 pint a month?
I think so. That's not too much. That's actually pretty reasonable. It's more than I eat now. I would say I don't eat a pint a month of ice cream now.
Do they have some sort of like pint of the day?
All right, when
club?
you eat a pint, do you eat the entire pint in one shot? Because I always do. I can't. You don't?
I used to. I still can, and I have from occasion, but I try to maybe go at least in two
If I did this Pint of the Month Club, which I'm now tempted to do, I'm actually tempted to put on a birthday list, right?
Yeah, that would
I would have to do it twice, though. I couldn't be like, how's it going, Mark? So,
I guess so.
I'd have to get both of them.
How's your magazine?
All right, anyway, those are our top 3 ice cream flavors. Let's keep moving.
All right, welcome back to the second installment of, I'm stealing the name, it was a great suggestion, From Plate to Table. It's pretty great because what we're talking about is 3D printing as it relates to board gaming, both tangentially and directly. Today we're going to take a look at a direct relation. And one of the things people ask is, why do I need a 3D printer? Well, you don't need one, but if you have one, there are so many uses for it. And the next video, next week, we're going to talk about a tangential relation, but today we're talking about a direct relation. One of the things I love is playing a nice, crunchy, meaty Euro. One of the things I hate is setting up a nice, crunchy, meaty Euro in which you're having to get those tokens and put them out on board, maybe get a little cups out and be like, okay, where can we store these? Wouldn't it be great if you could open a box and immediately start playing said game because it's already there for you, ready to go, which is what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to look at direct 3D print. Now, I'm not going to talk about techniques right now. I just want to show you what's possible, and we will get into techniques later on throughout the weeks, because today we're looking at an insert for Teikinu that is, I just printed offline. It's free. It's on thingiverse.com. That's your friend if you're a 3D printer. But you can also make these, and we'll talk about that in the weeks to come. But I want to come down to the table and show you what amazing stuff you can do with 3D printing in board gaming. Also, don't forget to check out the Dice Tower merch store right now at dicetowerstore.com. We've got some amazing stuff there for you. So let's take a look at this insert for Teikinu, and we'll keep talking all things from plate to table. Love that name. Great job. Whoever gave me that, shoot me a message to take credit for it. If 6 people take credit, I'm going to be really disappointed, but you know who you are. I mean, I could go back through the comments and look, but, well, that's work. Let's take a look. All right, so last week on From Plate to Table, which I think is actually a pretty brilliant name, and I'm stealing it, we talked about the idea that board gaming and 3D printing are tangentially related, but also directly related. I'm going to show you why, because inside of here in Teikinu, which is a great game, by the way, I have 3D printed an entire setup here for storing this game, and these are really well made. Somebody made the file for this, and it's just gorgeous, because now the game is ready to go. Everybody gets a player board thing right here. Boy, if I can get them out, that'd be cute, though. You get a player holder container thing right here, and so yeah, you can see I was still getting used to printing because some of this came out a little rough, but these will slide off. You'll push them right out. And then inside of here, if you played Teikinu, it fits perfectly. Everything you have is held right here. All of your columns are placed there, and this will just slide on and hold these tight. So I'm a big fan of being able to hold on to everything you have. All of these token boxes here. Now this is a pretty basic one. Some of them have been really insanely detailed. Now you can tell I had a really smooth build plate at that time, but how glassy smooth that is. That is not the case anymore with most of my prints. Now you can still do it, but I love the fact that this is able to be printed. Because normally, I mean, yes, you can buy these things and they're phenomenal people who make amazing board game inserts, but if I can just run off and print one myself in a few hours or a few days, it's such a nice thing. So having the ability to print board game trays and dividers and systems, there's one for Teotihuacan that is even better. It's just got just amazing looking stuff. But again, your imagination's the limit. And one of these weeks coming up, we're going to talk about designing your own of these in Tinkercad and places like that. CAD software where you can design based on the board box size and print it out yourself and try it out and see if you like it. But that is what I'm talking about when I say that it's related to the hobby, but also directly. Now, you'll notice that the prints look rough on the sides. That's because it's an FDM printer. Next week on From Plate to Table, I got to remember the name, we're going to talk about how to smooth things like that out if you so choose. That is called foreshadowing.
Okay, so today we're talking about Sequelitis, about games that are sequels and or follow-ups.
Spin-offs kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting thing. There's very few games in life that are direct sequels. Now, one of the biggest ones ever is releasing right now. Frosthaven is a clear sequel to Gloomhaven. There's also been ones in the past There's very rarely a 2, but there has
Tikal
been
2?
Tikal 2.
That's one of very, very few that actually put the number on
put
there.
a number on there,
As
right?
though it was like a movie or video game sequel.
Yeah.
There is
Video
often-
games have definitely done this for a long time. They got no problem doing it in movies, certainly.
Right.
But yeah, board games have rarely done that, really. They just don't follow the same naming conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm excluding, in a sense, like second editions, because there
Right.
was a second edition, like the
Yeah.
Twilight Imperiums, and there's a lot of games that have a
Yeah.
second edition.
Alice is a
different.
Carrara or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's different.
What about something along the lines of like Azul? Okay, so you've got
No, that's a sequel. I
right.
agree.
So those are all sequels, but mechanically they have a couple of things that tie them together. But to me, it's almost more that they're just, pretty looking abstracts. I mean, some of them, I guess, are closer mechanically to others than.
I find those to be sequels.
Do you?
I don't
Yeah.
think they are games that were found
No, I don't
separately
think so
and brought
either.
together because we can kind of shove them into a series.
Right.
I think they feel like sequels to one another. I mean, they're evolutions. They are new explorations on some of the same ideas. They definitely feel like sequels to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is someone just mentioned X-Men United was a sequel to Marvel
It was.
United. Sure. There's also the Shem Phillips trilogies.
That's very true. Yeah.
You know, those are sequels, although that's a little bit different in a sense
Yeah.
because those games are very different
They are
to each
very
other.
different.
The North Sea trilogy in particular
Yes, those are
three very different
very
games.
disparate games,
I mean, you
yeah.
could argue that Architects, Paladins, and
Viscounts.
Viscounts are all different too. They are different,
are.
but they have more DNA, I think.
Yeah, and this new sequel I think is going to be utilizing dice, whereas the other ones didn't use dice as much, if at all. So yeah, and I also think of the Century games, Spice Road and Eastern Mountains, and those are sequels to each other. But I guess you have to make the distinction between sequels and expansions.
It is
Right.
weird because a lot of sequels, like I mentioned, X-Men United and Marvel United, they're also the same game.
Right.
They're compatible. You can actually mix them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it gets tricky,
And what was one of the first ones I mentioned too? There was, when we were talking about sequels, that you can combine stuff from one and the other. Oh, the Gloomhaven, Frosthaven. You can take characters from one and use them in the other.
Right.
And
Jaws of the Lion was the same way, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so that gets a little. There's very few games that are a sequel, like a true sequel. In fact, I'm trying hard to think of one. I think the closest would be Eldritch Horror. Felt like a sequel to Arkham
Okay,
Horror.
I can
Had
see
the
that.
same characters, the same actors from the first one, with some new ones, but it was a
Right.
different game completely.
Yeah. What about like Santorini, New York?
That's a sequel too, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a different game.
It is a different game.
but it has the same DNA.
Right, yeah. The same feel to it.
Yeah. Do you find sequels to be generally underutilized in board gaming?
I don't care actually. I don't. I don't particularly want there to be too many. I find it to be confusing. I've
So
always
no, you don't find them to be underutilized.
Yeah.
like Valeria,
Yeah, you complain about that a lot.
the Tiny
actually.
Epic series.
Yeah.
After a while, sometimes because you do all this, I get a little gobsmacked of. I find it to be confusing.
Right, like the Valeria or the Tiny Epic stuff is almost like the Fast and the Furious of the board gaming. It's like there are 9 of them.
Right.
I don't know which one's which. You have to be into it to know which one's which.
I guess that's what, to me, this whole topic is coming down to the idea that this is a marketing, right? I think all of this is about marketing, right? What's the point of having a sequel other than, hey, here's something in a product line that is popular, that
Right.
people have shown that they like. Let's give them more of that. Different, but more, right? I think, because otherwise, what's the point?
As a consumer for movies, that often gets me excited.
Right.
I really like that movie. They're making part 2, and invariably you're disappointed.
Right.
There's obviously sequels that are better or good,
But they
or
are very
almost
much
as
in
good.
the minority, yes.
But definitely, I'm often like, ooh, more? I like that movie.
Does it work the same way for you for board games? Do you find, like, if they announced...
Let's take a game, Cosmic Encounter 2.
Yeah, I actually was thinking the same thing. That's weird.
I don't know.
Would you be
I'm
like,
suspicious.
ooh, would you be more
Right.
like, I don't know? That one's a little tricky because it's so old, but let's pick something a little more modern that you also like.
Arc Nova.
Arc Nova 2.
Okay.
Would you be excited about that?
I would be suspicious. I would be a little excited, but I'm telling you, when they tend to make a game following up another game, sometimes I like it more, like the Azul series. I like the second one better, but very clearly the first is still there.
How would you categorize the card game, the dice game? Are those sequels?
Nah, I consider that a spin-off. That's
Okay.
like
That's
a cartoon.
Hobbs and Shaw, baby.
That's Hobbs and Shaw, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not Tokyo Drift. That's Hobbs and Shaw. Okay, I like that analogy. Yeah.
No, that is what that is, or
Right.
or a kids game version.
Sure.
Those are spin-offs. I don't consider them sequels, and very rarely, those usually fall into either it's the same game in card form, or it's Carcassonne.
Yeah.
It's a completely different game.
Carcassonne. Oof,
Oof.
that's rough.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just asking questions.
Oh, Pandemics are sequels.
Those are sequels. They're using a system.
I guess they are in the same universe, kind
ish.
of.
Well, I would argue, okay, maybe not the two newest ones, but the other ones were definitely a series of games.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Do you pay attention and think about this when you're considering whether you're interested in something? If the designers are different from one game to the next, because that happens in movies sometimes, right? Where it'll be a different director for the second or third movie,
Yes.
a different writer.
I definitely-
that does
I
happen
definitely
with board
do.
games too sometimes, right?
Definitely, that matters to me.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's the same
Both
design,
in
I'm
movies
more
and in
interested.
board games,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
If there's some game coming out and I'm like, who is the same person with using the same theme, just a follow-up or exploring different aspects of the original design, if it's the same person, that definitely makes me happier than
Okay.
Joe Schmo using, or even a famous designer, doesn't matter, using the original thing to do something on their own. I'm like, well, this wasn't their own thing. They're
Right.
building on somebody else's work.
Okay.
Movies, same thing. If a sequel comes out but the original director abandoned it or couldn't do it or whatever, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was some magic there that I'm worried isn't going to be captured again.
But I do like when the same designer does it. A good example of that would be Ryan Lockett.
Yes.
Now or Never is definitely a sequel to Above and Below.
It is.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Near and Far.
Near
and
and
then
Far,
Now and
and then
Never.
Now or Never, yeah.
And then even there, I was like, the second one's better than the first. The third one I don't like as much as the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of examples I saw there that were showing two different designers and the same designer was Isle of Cats and Race to the Raft. That is a sequel, I
Well,
believe.
he says it's a sequel.
He says it's a sequel.
It's even story-wise a
It
sequel.
is, and it's the
Right.
same designer. But you have Hall of the Mountain King and Fall of the Mountain King,
That's a prequel.
and it's two different designers. Actually, the first game is a co-design, but the second game is a completely different designer. So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Well, it also brings to the table the idea of, because in movies it's easy. A sequel is normally the continuation of the original story,
usually, yeah.
right? Like, oh, it's been 6 months, this is what happens next.
Right.
In board games, because the story isn't always canned, right? It's whatever you kind of make it. There's two kinds of spin-offs or sequels. There is mechanically this is a bit like the first,
Azul.
or story-wise this follows what happened, Race to the Raft,
Near or Far, Race to the Raft.
right? So
Near and Far.
that's interesting there. In those games, I mean, Race to the Raft and the Isle of Cats are
They're very different.
mechanically very different. They just follow story-wise, one beat after the other. Which of those two things do you find a little more less misleading when you hear about it, I guess? Like, this is a sequel to this. I tend to assume mechanically this is a bit like that thing.
I tend to think that also, and that may
Right.
be why the Valeria games throw you so much, because those games have usually nothing to do with each other mechanically.
Right.
They're all just set within the same quote-unquote universe. They use the same artists.
Oh, so you're
Like
asking,
the
do I,
Valeria cinematic universe.
right.
do
They
I
have
care
different
if the theme
designers.
carries over, or do I care more about the mechanisms?
I guess, yeah, or story, or
Yeah,
what
do you
have
expect when you hear like, oh, something 2 is coming? I don't have anything around here. Something 2 is coming out. Do you immediately assume, oh, it's like that mechanically, or oh, it follows that story afterwards?
Depends on the company, actually.
Okay.
If it's, and then some companies muddy the waters by just saying it's a sequel, but it's actually a reworking. Mansion
Yeah.
of Madness 2 is a reworking of
Second
Mansions
edition.
of
Okay,
Madness.
yeah, that's true.
Android Netrunner was a reworking of Netrunner.
Yeah.
But they feel like sequels.
Yeah, it's weird. I wonder if you should even consider these series games to be eligible for this because it's like when you talk about like the exit games, I don't think those are sequels of each other, right? They're just a line of games.
Yes, except there. Let's say Unlock. There's
Right.
that stupid clown one.
There is the
Bozo
clown that shows
and then
up.
he shows up later, and it's
Yeah.
like, I'm back. I'm
Right.
like, oh, I guess thematically that's a sequel. And Exit had the same thing.
With the
there was a guy who
castle
locked you
or
in the
whatever,
cab, and then
yeah.
he locks you in a castle. I'm
Right,
like,
right, right.
Let's kill this dude already.
You keep getting locked in places.
That's right.
You're a dummy.
And I also don't think someone mentioned Time Stories.
Yeah.
That's modular, which is not
Right.
quite the same. I don't consider Final Girl to be a sequel either. If you get the
No,
different
those are
things.
yeah.
I think Time Stories is probably the best example, actually, of a game that feels like it has sequels. I actually think that one feels like a serial, like a TV show where each week
Episodic.
it's episodic, right? It's every week you're like, okay, the
Twilight
team
Zone.
is going back to France in the 1600s, or the team this week on Time Stories, we're going back to the Stone Age,
So it's like
whatever,
X-Files
whatever.
almost, yeah.
I think that's the best kind of sequel. Something that feels episodic, cinematic in a way, and you keep your cast, i.e. the players, whatever, and but you jump into these different things, or again, whatever, you're visiting different ideas. They tackle different things.
I'll buy that more than a slight reworking, like Carcassonne. There's Carcassonne Hunters and Gatherers, Carcassonne the City, and Carcassonne the Castle. And those are all different games,
Right.
but they're all clearly based. I mean, Azul's the same way. We just came out with Catacombs.
Yeah.
I treat them in my head as different games. But I also, if you say I don't like Carcassonne, I'm like, yeah, but I bet you like Carcassonne Hunters and Gatherers. You probably won't.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, this could go on forever.
It could,
There's
yeah.
a lot of things that we're touching in different bases there, but I just find it to be
Two-player only
interesting.
editions of games, that's another thing you can look at, so yeah.
Again, that's more of the Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, I guess so.
I do find myself excited, though, at the end of the day when something is announced and it's a spin-off or a sequel to something I like.
Yeah.
I often assume it's thematically tied to that thing, and they've messed with some mechanisms to
Right.
make it fit some new idea or something new they felt like trying. I think it's probably the safer bet than assuming you'll like the game because it's the same mechanisms. That's a longer shot. But I do find myself excited about those things, so I
Yeah.
guess it works.
Alrighty. Well, there you go, folks. That's the end of sequels and the end of this episode of Board Game Smorgasbord. Come back at 2 to vote for the best publishers. We're not voting. You're voting.
Right.
All right. Well, who's your favorite publisher? It's time to show up and support them. We'll see you guys then. Don't forget our Game Found is ending tomorrow for the Dice Tower. Get your pledge in and or your address, more importantly. Brian mentioned the store, and we got a contest at the beginning of this episode. There's lots of stuff going on.
Indeed.
We'll see you later today. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Mike DeLisio.
Have fun eating ice cream.